We'll switch over the topic here. What was it like getting blocked by Dave Rubin on Twitter?
I didn't know it happened until I went to so someone in my timeline had like quote tweeted Dave Rubin, and I didn't see the quote. I didn't see the quote, so I clicked on it and like, you are blocked. Like, what? When did this happen? So because I never tweet Dave Rubin. I mean, I definitely have in the past, but it had to have been at least, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, a year. So the block came out of nowhere. So my guess is he saw one of my videos on him, and maybe it was the one after I did a video on how he supported Bolsonaro in Brazil, even though Bolsonaro is anti-gay and Dave Rubin is a married gay man. So
Right.
it was one of these things where like the fraud is right in front of your faces. Like, here is Dave Rubin supporting a fucking fascist who hates who Dave Rubin is. Bolsonaro has discussed how if his son was gay, he would rather his son die in a car accident than stay alive. So for Dave Rubin to support Bolsonaro, this guy Dave Rubin's being completely paid, and he was in a pro Bolsonaro video. So, and this is before that, and this is before the clip that I covered, and he still pronounced Bolsonaro's name wrong. He calls him Bolsonaro or something. So it's just, I just the level of fraud and the level of stupidity is truly unmatched. Dave Rubin is somebody who Dave Rubin is what happens if you completely sell out. Dave Rubin has to know that he sold out. He has to know that he's a liar. He has to know that his entire career is based on a lie. So I don't know how he sleeps at night. I mean, I'm sure it's very comfortable in his $1 million home or whatever it is, but money doesn't buy you happiness. I had a job before I did this political stuff where I made more money than I currently do right now, and I was very unhappy. So right now I make much less money, but I'm much happier. I mean, maybe everyone isn't that way. Maybe there are a lot of people out there like Dave Rubin who only find happiness through money, but I don't understand that. So I'm not sure how he lives with himself. But to get back to your question, though, I'm sure he blocked me because of a video I did on him, but I don't know for sure. The whole thing's funny though.
Did you see the whole super chat thing that was sent to him with the majority report, and he like refused to say the name?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was asked about debating Sam Cedar, and he's like, I don't care about those guys. It's like,
Have you seen
and
the
then
billboard too? The billboard that's
yeah,
about to go up.
there's a billboard. Someone's trying to post a billboard about how we should debate Sam Cedar in LA. Yeah, it. Uh, I would not want to be Dave Rubin. I don't care how much money he's making. I would not want to be somebody who was living a lie. It would just be incredibly uncomfortable. And how do you come out of it? I mean, he could tomorrow be like, "You guys are all right. You are all correct. I sold out. This is what I did. But I've now realized that what I did was wrong. And you know what? If he did that, he can make a lot of money. So maybe even financially, it's a good idea for him to come out and just admit everything. But I
That
somehow
would be
don't think
pretty
he's going to do that.
historic if he did that.
Oh, it would be incredibly historic. I mean, this is I've said this about Tommy Lahren. I don't think Tommy Lahren is as conservative as she pretends she is. I just don't. I think she purposely does not educate herself. I mean, you've done videos on her. She's really dumb. So,
Yeah. What she's trying to do is she wants to swing with the celebrities, and she wants to be a high profile. So that's why she loves beefing with Cardi B and all this type of stuff.
but does beefing with them count as swinging with them? I mean, I don't think she's not in their
In her
circle.
mind, probably. I don't know. I just feel
It's
like
so embarrassing
for
though.
her that's
I would not want. I'd rather Cardi B not know who I am than Cardi B tell me that she wants to dog walk me. I mean, I want to be on Cardi B's good side. I think Cardi B's awesome. So I want to be on these celebrities' good side if I think they're good celebrities. But yeah, Tommy Lahren, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro may be the only one of these people who I think actually believes his own bullshit. But even then, Shapiro must know how he skews information.
I don't
I
think he does. I think he full on just believes everything. He doesn't have any reservations or anything like that.
but he's paid to skew things a certain way. I mean, that's I mean, Daily Wire is completely funded by It's Daily Wire, right? It's completely funded by billionaires. Um,
Right. Yeah. It
I
was. I
just
think it was funded by the Wilkes brothers, right?
yeah, the Wilkes brothers, yeah. So it just he he's not going to search out information that may contradict what his message is supposed to be. So I'll put it that way. So maybe he doesn't know that he's lying to people, but he purposely is only looking at uh, certain views. I mean, anytime we talk about healthcare, for me as a Canadian, like that is when his bullshit really shines through, because I know he's full of shit. He talks about, oh, my wife's a doctor. I mean, if anything, that gives you a skewed perspective, because you have your wife making probably a shit ton of money as a doctor, where when she might make a little less in a Medicare for all system. So this idea that people don't deserve health care unless you can afford it, I just don't understand this at all. My entire life, I've grown up not even thinking about health care ever. I haven't had to think about it because it's always been there for me. So this is one of the biggest issues, or one of the biggest benefits that I think isn't talked about enough. In a system where you have universal health care, one of the biggest benefits is you don't ever think about healthcare. It's just there if you need it. I don't have to think about insurance companies or co-pays or deductibles or out-of-pocket expenses. None of this shit happens. I just, if I'm sick, I go to the doctor. If I had surgery once, I got surgery, came home, I was fine. No money, nothing. It was like one sheet of paperwork. That was it for the surgery. That's it. So the whole system in healthcare, when Ben Shapiro or any conservative tries to argue for a private insurance-based system, it makes my blood boil. And to me, it really shows how fucking fake these people are.
You did a video about Dave Rubin and I believe it was Ben Shapiro, not talking about the anti-BDS law, which we know
Yeah.
the story about the speech pathologist who basically had the question of, oh, you have to promise to not do business with businesses that boycott Israel, which is pretty crazy. Talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. So these guys are so Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro. They're so focused on free speech issues, but when there's an actual threat to the First Amendment, like that, the lady that was, I think it was Texas, she was fired as a teaching assistant because she didn't want to sign a paper saying that she would not protest or boycott against the state of Israel. I mean, this is an actual threat to free speech. Somebody lost their job because of their view on Israel Palestine. Yet, who talked about this? Name me one of these free speech phonies, whether it's Rubin, Shapiro, who else is there? The other morons, Peterson. None of these people talked about it. Actually, Peterson, no, someone did tweet to Peterson about it, but then it exposed how unaware Peterson is, because Peterson said something like, oh, that doesn't seem right at all, but then he said nothing else about it. Because Peterson is informed by these people that he perceives to be intelligent on political issues. So he gets informed from Rubin and Shapiro. So if they aren't talking about it, then to him it's not a serious issue. Peterson, I'm sure, is very good in his area of self-help. I mean, that's his thing. But when it gets to politics, he doesn't know dick. So for him to talk about political issues whatsoever, it exposes how stupid these fucking people are. But on the BDS thing, yeah, it's just it shows you that they are not principled on this issue. If you actually cared about free speech, actually cared about the First Amendment, then somebody getting fired for having a different political view on an issue would be headline news everywhere, but it isn't.
So, did you by any chance see Jordan Peterson's debacle tweet where he likened calling people climate change deniers to Holocaust deniers? Did you see that?
I think I heard, I think I saw it in passing, but I don't. Or Peterson is just. I'd like tune him out at this point. Uh, I haven't covered him in maybe, I don't know, 8 months or so. I just don't find him all that interesting because I don't think he's. I'm into politics, and Peterson doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So I get invigorated by debates that are interesting. That's why I focus a lot on the left and inner debates within the left, because I find that stuff interesting. If you notice, I don't cover Trump all that often, and it's kind of a double reason. For one, I think Trump is covered a lot by everybody else, so I don't see a reason why I need to add my voice to that. But also, I don't find Trump interesting. He's just a very one-dimensional moron, and I have very little to say. I mean, any Trump video that I would do, if I had to cover all his bullshit, it would just be like, so Trump did this today. Yep, Trump is a racist. Yep, Trump is a dipshit. Yep, Trump doesn't know anything. Okay, next. Like I don't know what analysis to add. I feel like if you don't already know that Donald Trump is a dipshit, that I don't know what else I can offer you. And for me, it's the same thing with someone like Peterson. I feel like he so clearly doesn't know what he's talking about that I don't know what to add to that conversation. At least somebody like Ben Shapiro, they have arguments and I can break down their arguments and why their arguments don't make any sense. But someone like Peterson, it's just like climate change. How do you not understand that you should be listening to people who are experts in this field?